Well, hello. Welcome to our LinkedIn Live session today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. My name is Brian Mistretta. I'm with NICE CXone Mpower. I am the Director of Product Marketing here at NICE CXone Mpower, and very excited to be with you here today. We have some great, exciting news to share. These are always fun events for us to do here at NICE, and I'm very feel very lucky that I get to be the one to share this with you. Look, we're going to talk about AI and automation, and I suspect that many of you probably, if you look at the post above us and the post below us, it's also probably talking about AI and automation. But we have a bit of a different take on this today. At NICE CXone Mpower, we have done quite a bit with AI over the last couple of years. Between our co-pilot, our autopilot, our intelligent knowledge management, even with AI-powered coaching on soft skills for real-time interaction guidance. All of those things are using generative AI to help smooth interactions and work out orchestration for customers so they have more meaningful, iconic experiences. We want to make journey orchestration using AI. We bring in different AI routing capabilities. We are making more meaningful self-service virtual agents that are helping customers and containing them in the self-service channel, really empowering them. But today, what we're going to be talking about is really starting to extend out of the front office or the contact center even, right? So since we're all consumers, we have an expectation for what we get when we engage with an organization. So just yesterday, as an example, I got a proactive text message from my pharmacy saying I had a prescription ready to be refilled. Click on this link and we will let you know when the prescription is ready. So I click on the link, and sure enough, an hour or two later, I get a text message back saying your prescription is ready for pickup. Wonderful for me. But there's a whole lot going on behind the scenes there in terms of what happens across organizations to make that experience happen, right? And all of these are underpinned by workflows and processes that can be cumbersome sometimes. They traverse multiple teams, they traverse multiple applications, and there's a lot of opportunities for bottlenecks. Obviously, at NICE, we have spent the better part of the last several decades really making sure that the engagement between the customer and the organization is frictionless and smooth. And we're now taking that that expertise, and we are applying it to not just the front office, but we're also applying it to the middle and back office, because after all, that is just as important a spoke on the wheel of the customer service landscape. So we're here today to talk a little bit how we're going to be using agentic AI and one of our new launches that is coming up that we're announcing here this week at Enterprise Connect, called NICE CXone Mpower Orchestrator, where we're actually orchestrating the execution and the identity of these workflows and identifying proactively where there might be bottlenecks, and really helping to automate and smooth out and expedite the execution of these workflows that all underpin the broader customer experience paradigm. So I'm joined today by one of our senior product leaders, Mike Harwell. Mike is kind of my partner in crime on this. Hello, Mike. We have, again, quite a bit to go over here today, but this is some real exciting stuff. Why don't we start with just some basic questions? Let's start with, what is CXone Mpower Orchestrator, and how is it utilizing agentic AI to automate enterprise workflows?
Yep, sure. Thanks, Brian, and thanks for the introduction, and thanks everybody for the time today. As Brian said, really exciting new product for us at NICE, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to answer some questions and hopefully provide some insight. So, Mpower Orchestrator is an application that utilizes AI to increase operational efficiency. That's what you'd expect with a workflow, but at the same time, reducing the customer effort in completing a business process. It doesn't matter if this is a business intent that you're trying to satisfy or a customer intent. It provides customers with visibility, our customers with visibility into end-to-end workflows. It provides insights into what's working well and what's not. It makes recommendations about the best actions to take to optimize your workflows, and most importantly, to optimize your workflows for the real business KPIs, right? Not necessarily the KPIs for a particular case or KPIs for the contact center, but the business level KPIs. And ultimately, it orchestrates the business process across the customer experience, the front office, the mid office, and the back office systems. You had mentioned agentic AI, but Orchestrator utilizes many types of AI. It uses NLP and generative AI in sort of the discovery and mining components of the solution. It utilizes machine learning in the analysis and the recommendations that we make for potential improvements. And it does use agentic AI in the execution and the orchestration aspects of the solution. So it really is an AI application that's developed with AI at its core.
So really cool, and thank you for keeping me honest there at the beginning. So there's a lot of business process automation capabilities out in the market today. So what makes Orchestrator unique? How does it stand apart from some of the things that are already out there?
Yeah. There are a variety of tools in the market, each designed to address specific pieces of what Orchestrator also does. There are or covers, right? That's what we'll explain a little bit is about what does it manage versus what is it doing itself. So there are case management tools out there, workflow automation tools, business process automation tools. Each of these tools provides a different feature set, right? They almost all have monitoring and some sort of dashboarding. They have some sort of process mining, or most do. A workflow designer, some level of execution. So in concept, the componentry seems similar. The big difference is in the goals. What is it that the application is built to do? It's like the old analogy of a hammer looking for a nail. If your goal specifically is to increase automation, which is, again, very, very valid goal. We have applications that do just that, right? But your LLM and your target outcomes are going to be designed specifically to identify automation opportunities, right? It makes sense. Mm-hmm. Also, the approach that many of the existing tools take is they go and they mine data from other platforms, other applications, e-commerce, finance, ERP systems, CRM systems, and then they attempt to link them together manually. Again, also, excuse me, a valid approach. In essence, it's the best that could be done with the tools that have been available in the past. So one of the most unique capabilities of Orchestrator has to do with the starting point, right? The starting point for our customer. When you use Orchestrator, you're not starting with a blank sheet of paper. We take the mountains of customer experience data we have, web, mobile engagement data, web analytics, knowledge management, self-service, assisted service, survey data, whatever the data is, and then we take an AI model that's tuned specifically to mine for those hidden tasks and workflows. That's not to say you can't build new tasks and workflows from scratch, right? Of course, but our goal is to pre-populate the system as much as possible, and then let the business fill in, for just the blind spots, things that we couldn't identify, or we identified there was a task, but we couldn't get to the details, right? Make sense?
Yep. Yep.
So second, Orchestrator leverages AI to, after we know what those workflows are, we identify opportunities for improvement. Again, not necessarily automation, but improvement for that highest level business level KPI. So if, in certain parts of the business, the KPI is to increase upsell and cross sell, or to increase customer retention. It could even be something as simple as, we want our customer contact information to always be 90 days current, right? There's a lot of downstream reasons you would want that, effectiveness of your marketing campaigns, ability to gain feedback, maybe it's legal, whatever the reason is. But if that's the goal, Orchestrator can make recommendations to optimize the workflow to achieve that specific outcome, right? And the last part, sorry, Brian, I know it's a long answer, but
That's okay.
The last part is the actual execution. In the name Orchestrator, you're thinking execution. In a lot of ways, the automation tools in the marketplace perform execution today. NICE has a variety of workflow tools, right? Workflows to manage proactive customer engagement, reactive customer engagement, interactions and integrations with third-party systems and data sources, workflows around advanced routing, business process automation, right? These are all things that NICE already does today, and each of them is purpose-built. That's also true of the third-party applications out there for the most part. Some are open platforms that will require high levels of customization, but for the most part, they're purpose-built. The most unique aspect of Orchestrator in this area is that we have a different position in the customer's technology suite, right? It gives us a unique perspective. So because CXone through Orchestrator is aware of those tasks and workflows, and we can correlate them to the customer intents and journeys, we're in a unique position to solve these business problems.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, you mentioned several things in your answer there about kind of the things that Orchestrator is going to kind of provide.
Yep.
Automation, being able to have stretch the platform so it's actually supporting KPIs across the business, not necessarily just in the interaction or
Yep.
in the contact center. If you had to level it up a little bit, what would you say some of the business challenges? What can someone that's using Orchestrator expect
Yep.
in resolving some business like what are real world business challenges that you might see Orchestrator resolve?
Yeah, that's probably the most common question I get, because there are so many different types of workflow management and business process tools out there, and all trying to address some of the same common problems, but coming at it from a different viewpoint. In talking with customers, doesn't matter, regardless of the industry, there's a few common challenges that they face as they look for ways to improve the customer experience while also optimizing those business KPIs. And the first one comes down to specifically, right? We're looking at customer experience workflows. They don't know what they don't know. They don't have good visibility into the business processes. In the contact center, they can leverage reports and dashboards and analytics to gain, insights about those interactions, interaction analytics, what the interactions they're having with their customers, and separately, they can also track their business level KPIs through their business systems. But they really have trouble understanding, the relationships between the two domains and how one affects the other if it does. The truth is that in a lot of cases, there isn't even alignment within the enterprise about what the tasks are, what the data is required to complete those tasks, and which tasks make up specific workflows. I was talking with one of our business consultants earlier this week, and he was telling me a story about helping a customer map out a collections workflow. So you can imagine, in a collections workflow, a really important thing is to know the customer's balance. Well, they didn't know this up front, they identified it through the process that there were 7 different systems that all contained the customer account balance. And they weren't synchronized in any way, or at least some of them were. We all know that was not by design, right? Nobody laid that out from the beginning and said that's what we want to do, and it shouldn't be the case, but that's the reality. So the question is, how can the business expect to provide exceptional and consistent experiences while operating in that really messy reality? And the answer is they need some common view that allows them to see across and understand those processes and its data through every part of the customer experience workflow.
Yeah, it's funny, for so many years we've talked a lot about, I know in the webinars that I do and some of the sessions I've done at industry events or talking to customers, we talk so much about the journey orchestration from the customer to the organization, which is obviously an incredibly important part of the customer experience paradigm, right? But we haven't done a lot of talking about the cross-functional business processes that support or that might come from those engagements. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a contact center engagement. It could be someone responding to a proactive communication. It could be somebody visiting your website. There's a countless number of use cases that don't necessarily go through the contact center. They go through various other parts of the business, but it helps to unify that. You had mentioned some of the third-party applications. Now, obviously, some of the people that are watching here today, everyone has, significant investments in some cases in various application stacks. And let's face it, we all get inundated with emails every day from vendors talking about their new AI capabilities, another AI, arrow in the quiver, if you will. Where do you see, you mentioned these third-party applications, integration points with other big functions like CRMs and ERPs and that kind of thing. Where do you see this? What's the relationship between Orchestrator and these different application stacks that comprise the back office and maybe even the middle office?
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna depend on the application, but overall, what I would say is it's a synergistic relationship, right? Most of the workflows that we're going to identify are going to have implications for the back office. In some cases, we'll be able to infer the role of the back office system through the use of AI. In other cases, we'll consume tasks and workflows based on their design from whatever the system is that manages them today. Orchestrator is designed to work within the existing customer's environment, right? It's not a panacea. Again, I mentioned, we're not expecting to walk in with a blank sheet of paper. We know we're stepping into an environment that's complex and has many different systems. So we have we address that with a combination of things. We have a combination of industry templates, out-of-the-box connectors to some of the more common back office systems. But Orchestrator, at its core, is an open framework that allows for custom integration. So Orchestrator is there to provide that cross-system orchestration layer, not replace those critical business systems. So I'll just also say, somewhat related question that you didn't ask is, the relationship between cases and customer service workflows, right? This is maybe, I said before, that's the most common. This may be the most common, right? Because people are very used to using case management. This seems like a tight corollary. The truth is, there's certain workflows that are well suited for cases or ticket management, processing a claim or handling a complaint, right? Those are, we've all experienced them, right? But there are lots of other types of business processes, like placing an order or taking a payment or even updating contact information that don't require a case. So why involve the overhead and complex workflow design and the costs that come with that? So when a case makes sense, Orchestrator works with and, I guess you could say, extends the case management system. But where a case is not needed, Orchestrator can actually manage that workflow object and integrate with the CRMs and the help desks and the project management tools and the industry specific applications where they still manage their specific tasks, but Mpower does the orchestration over the top.
Wow. Okay. So that's pretty cool. All the things you talk about, though, right? So all of those different workflows, whether they're coming from an actual case with a ticket attached to it or something that is not, they all have variables that might impact the process, right? The actual workflow itself. So how does Orchestrator, handle real-time event processing, and what can it do, on its own, or with a human counterpart, to make dynamic adjustments to that workflow?
No, very good. So as I've sort of alluded to, Orchestrator has a number of different components, from the Orchestrator mining and analytics to the framework. So in some cases, or maybe even most cases, we're dealing with historical data, right? We're performing data analysis, then we aggregate that data and perform some trend analysis, what are the new workflows that were identified, of the existing workflows, are we seeing trends? Do those trends correlate to changes that we've observed, or maybe even changes that we've driven in the customer experience? It's only when we get to the execution components of Orchestrator that it becomes a real-time application. In execution, there's a number of integration methods, data streaming, event streaming. The use of REST APIs is going to be fairly common, but even long polling, depending on the nature of the application that's executing the task. Right? Again, we're providing that orchestration layer over the top and managing the state of those tasks and the state of the workflow. So we want those integrations to be as real time as possible, but we'll deal with what we're handed in the existing customer environment.
Yeah, and I mean, this is certainly significant, I feel like, in the in the realm of our launches and capabilities here at NICE. We've done so much over the years, again, as I've mentioned, with self-service and empowering agents, and finding intelligent ways to push knowledge to customers and to agents, and making things more visible in customer service teams. This is pretty big, because obviously we're talking about really kind of applying that same discipline to all of these processes that underpin that. How do you see it changing the way businesses operate today?
I guess it was like everybody, I think, feels the same way. We all feel more comfortable making data-driven decisions, right? The better data, the more confident you are in that data, the more confident you are in the decision. But today, businesses really are having a hard time tying that customer experience to the front and mid and back office operations. Each operational silo, each separate organization, or even each application has their own view. They've got their own measurements or their own proxies to measure the success of their individual pieces. They do that not because that's the desire. They do it because getting that big picture and being able to directly associate each of those individual roles or tasks into the larger level or higher level business level KPI is too difficult. Orchestrator addresses that. And as a result of leveraging AI and the vast amounts of data we have, and providing customers with greater visibility and a better understanding of the correlation between the customer experience and the business process, we're going to see, of course, right? We talked about automation a few times. We're going to see more efficiency, but we're also going to see more consistent customer experiences. And our experience tells us that also leads to higher customer satisfaction. But maybe the most important outcome is going to be more rapid time to innovation and more rapid time to value. Just the fact that the recommendations for improvements that Orchestrator is making is backed by your data, not just data, but your data is going to provide confidence and allow customers to act more quickly.
Yeah, it's really pretty awesome, and just seeing some of the development work that's been going on that I know you've been heavily engaged in. I get some glimpses of that, and it's pretty exciting to see what you guys have been putting together. I talked a little bit about the fact that obviously at NICE we've spent a lot of time on on smoothing out those journeys and customer experiences. This will be my last question for you, Mike, and I'm going to take a swing at it myself if you don't mind. But the question is, how do you see this fundamentally changing or enhancing the way NICE, what NICE is providing today? And my take on it, just listening to you kind of answer these questions, is that we've got credible expertise in the CX space, right? I'm the marketing guy, so I know very well that we are the undisputed leader in a lot of analyst reports. We have millions of interactions, if not billions of interactions that we handle on the platform. And I look at this and I think, okay, we are applying that expertise, the native AI capabilities that we have, but also the CXone Mpower platform. We talk about the fact that it's a very open platform, so it's very easy to integrate it across your CX landscape, if you will. I see this as really adding significant value, still part of that customer service fabric, of course, but I see us really kind of being able to apply some of the rigor and expertise that we have. As you mentioned, we have decades of industry data and interaction data and that we can apply that informs our own AI engine. And I see that really starting to make a huge difference more broadly outside of the contact center and into other organizations and the company that we don't normally, historically haven't necessarily talked about. You mentioned things like billing and maybe logistics and maybe ERPs and that kind of thing. What's your take on it? What do you think?
Yeah. So just like you said, NICE has a long history in orchestration. So this really isn't a change for us as much as it is, an evolution. I think a lot of the view, if somebody had the view that this was a change, some big change for NICE, it's because of what I was referring to before. The lack of technology that enabled that broader view puts the contact center in a tighter box, right? So it's like an arbitrary boundary that's been created that's made people think about it as contact center versus back office. But now with AI, it's changed, right? Those things are not as difficult. They're not impossible. And so I think it's quickly going to change to where this is the expectation in the industry. We've been doing orchestration for, we're known for the pillars, right? Sort of interaction management, workforce management, customer service automation. Our CXone Studio for the last decade and a half has been the leading CCaaS orchestration engine, period, right? The introduction of Enlighten AI, whatever it was 4 years ago or so, that was a real game changer. We're able to take those mountains of data again, of interaction data that we have and put it to use with, actionable insights. And, that's now prevalent across the entire suite, right? It's not analytics for the purpose of analytics, right? It's now embedded in all the applications. So, routing, autopilot, copilot, auto summary, all the ones you mentioned in your intro. I think Empower Orchestrator has the potential to have as significant an impact, maybe even more. I want to risk it, and it's because it really breaks down some of those long-standing silos, right? That visibility. It's like we had the blinders on, and now they've been taken off. So you can break down those silos that have been standing in the way, and we can help customers move to that next level of the maturity curve. You know how we used to talk about moving the contact center from a cost center to a profit center, right? You don't hear that anymore. Orchestrator is on the other end of the curve saying, we can enable our customers to go beyond that and orchestrate the whole system. Not just orchestrate, the ACD to keep average handle time low. Not just to orchestrate the case to keep a response time SLA, but to really orchestrate the whole system end to end, so that we're, again, optimizing for the real business KPI.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Mike, thank you for joining us here on today's session. And thank you all for watching. This is something we're incredibly excited about. If you are at Enterprise Connect, come visit us at booth 911. That's an easy number to remember. I guess if you have a workflow emergency, then we have something at the booth for you that we can walk you through. We will have a lot more about this in our upcoming releases, and we are very excited to be joining you here today. Thanks again, Mike. As always, fascinating insights and really great perspectives there on how we're really making some big changes and improvements into how businesses, not just contact centers, are actually orchestrating the broader landscape of customer service. So for Mike, I'm Brian Mistretta with NICE. Thank you again for joining us. Keep making those experiences great, and we will see you at the next LinkedIn Live. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.